Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What a beautiful Monday morning with myself, Noshina Ghani, as your host on Modern and Modest. Today we'd be speaking to Hot Events CEO Nafisa Jusub and Sweet Sensations with Sophia Khan. Events and Fashion Supremo leaves no stone unturned when it comes to bringing the latest in fashion and trends to South Africa from the globe. Today from Durban, we bring you the CEO of Hot Events and founder of the app Shop, Eat, Sleep Worldwide, Nafisa Jusub. Assalamu alaikum, Nafisa, and welcome to Modern and Modest here in Durban. I must commend you for being a CEO and the founder of an app. My word, an app being a woman, that is just something. Now, Nafisa, with you being a mum of 4 and having such a busy lifestyle, how do you cope?
Wa alaikum salam, Noshina. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'd firstly like to say that my kids are very energetic. My work is actually my solace and my peaceful time, if I can say that.
Okay, so I guess with having busy bodies at home and having energetic kids, you need to find that peace and calmness, and that's where you get from your work. Now, Nafisa, with Hot Events, can you tell me a little more about Hot Events? When has it actually started out and how did this come around?
Hot Events is actually 10 years old, but it wasn't even called Hot Events back then. I started off around 10 years ago doing shows with local people, and we used to bring down like 1 or 2 designers from overseas. Then I ended up having kids and my life just got too busy, so we took a break from that. So we started about 2 years now that we actually bringing down big fashion designers from fashion weeks and Lakmes from India and that sort of thing.
Okay, well, Nafisa, you've put Durban on the fashion map and in assisting us with staying on top of the latest trends and fashion. Can you share a few tips with us, being Durban and being spring and heading into summer? How could we still keep fashionable yet modern and modest?
I think spring is a lovely season to be in to be fashionable. There's lots of light colors that you can wear, floral prints, loose fabrics, and even your fabrics that you wear and your scarves, it's going to be lighter and stuff. So spring is the perfect time to be fashionable and modest.
So I guess with being modest and hijab, it's all about wearing loose clothing. And this allows us that opportunity of wearing our floral prints and keeping the splash of colors and still looking fashionable.
Correct.
Okay, and would you say, I mean, you obviously interact with quite a few designers with all your eventing. Would you think in order for us to stay trendy and look fashionable, do we really need to be investing in wearing specific labels and brands to keep us feeling fashionable?
Not at all, not at all. I am not at all brand conscious myself. I feel like we should give local people and the little stores that you find in the corners the chance, because you find the best items in those places. So not at all that you have to follow any big brands to be fashion conscious. As long as you're comfortable in what you're wearing and you look good, that's all that matters.
Now, with the fashion industry globally and here in South Africa, I mean, there's so many people looking to head into that type of, what should I call it, scope or career. Would you think there is a space still? Would you recommend our young and upcoming fashion designers to further into the fashion world or the fashion career? Is there a space for us?
Of course there is. I believe there's enough water in the ocean for everybody. So everyone is welcome. Being in the fashion industry, go and get hooked up with fashion weeks, join exhibitions. It's a very, very good platform to be on.
So Nafisa, with Hot Events running for 10 years, you've had a break in between and I think very much focused in the past 2 years.
Yes.
So in the past 2 years, have you found there being any challenges being a woman and having to bring these brands or these designers for Hot Events to South Africa? Has this been any form of challenge for you?
I can lie to you and tell you it was all glitz and glamour, but it has been anything but that. Anything that you do, any business that you do, I think there's always someone waiting to pull you down. So yes, it's been challenging. It's not at all glitz and glamorous. I feel like in this events business or in the fashion industry, it's not a great industry to be in. So there's always that one person that's waiting to pull you down or waiting for that one wrong move. and it becomes very demotivating. But it's how you choose to handle it and how you come out of it is what matters the most.
And what would you say got you to come out of that, or what got you to be ahead of what was pulling you down?
This is quite a sensitive topic, actually. Being in this industry, it's quite demotivating, especially when there's someone out there that's waiting to bash on you, or there's a jealous or envious person that cannot see you doing well. And when they start targeting you and targeting your families, it becomes very difficult to deal with. So I found myself in a really low point, and I had this beautiful friend that introduced me to this amazing group of women in Durban that actually help you get out of this depression or this anxiety or whatever emotions you're feeling. And it's all through taswees and the Duruds and the Quran and Salah. And I felt like my entire life changed. It was like the most beautiful experience. I feel like I found myself at this age now through these group of people that were there to help me. And you know what, Noshina, lots of people go through this. Lots of people go through depression. Everyone's life is not as it seems on the outside. So I feel like I need to extend this helping hand to other people as well. I feel like there are lots of people that are suffering and are doing it alone. But you need to know that there's someone out there to help you. There is someone that will help you get back on your feet, will help guide you, and who will bring you back to the person that you're meant to be.
Well, Nafisa, I'm glad you've touched on it, and I think that not all women are as brave as you are being verbal about it. I'm sure there's so many individuals, be it male or female, that experience similar, because every business, or for every individual that grows, there's always going to be someone that's going to be envious or not happy to see your growth. And most people don't want to talk about it, but you've been brave to speak about it, and I think that in itself is encouragement and motivation to other women, especially that are in a business circle, that you know, there are other women that experience this, and it's great that you're coming up with, what is it, an empowerment for women, that you want to get women together and help and
like an empowerment program, basically helping women who have no one, who feel like they don't have anyone to turn to, a fear of being judged. I feel like it's so important. You know what, speaking about it is the first step to actually helping yourself. And I promise you, you'll never look back. You'll never look back. The minute Allah tests us in every way, envy, jealousy, hatred, when we are in good times, in bad times, all that is a test from Allah. And we have to decide, and I tell my kids this, are we making shaitan happy or are we making Allah happy?
So I guess it's how you deal with it.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So CEO of Hort Events, founder of an app, and now even wanting to put together an empowerment program for women. That is really something. So Nafisa, what intrigued me a lot about you was the app. I mean, it's so technical. You think of an app interesting maybe teenagers or youngsters, but I would never have thought a mum of 4 and someone that started out as home executive and then went into eventing to come up with an app. So can you tell me more about your app? What is it all about? It's got a very interesting name, so tell us more about it.
Roshina, basically this idea came about when I'm a mall crawler. I can find every little shop in every little corner in any country in the world, and I will find the best items. So whenever I traveled, and whenever friends started traveling after me, they used to always keep asking me on places to shop, where to eat, where to stay, what to do. And I used to end up doing lists and lists on my phone, and I ended up cutting and chopping and pasting to them. So the whole idea of the app came about with that. I decided that, you know what, I need to have something where everyone can have a platform. Even people who don't know me will be able to find the best places to shop, to eat, and to sleep. So that's how the idea of the app came about. And it's basically an app that will be listing stores around the world. And we have a little added benefit now. We're going to be upgrading the app to a discount app. So when you go to the store and use, like we here now, and if you come and buy something from here, you would get like a discount off your total purchase.
Okay, so we'll be out for a quick ad break, and keep watching, and we'll be back to chat more to Nafisa about the amazing app that she's come up with. Welcome back with Nafisa Jusub's app shop. eat, sleep worldwide. So Nafisa, with the app, is it, firstly, is it user-friendly? Is it compatible with all the smartphones? What do we need to do to get onto the app?
Firstly, it's very user-friendly. You can find it on any of the iOS or Google Play stores. Just type in Shop, Eat, Sleep Worldwide and you'll be able to download it.
Yeah, does the app, is it a free app? Does it cost? Do you have to purchase the app?
Right now it's free, so download it. But after about 5 or 6 months, we're going to be charging a small fee, which is like 200 Rand for the year. If you look at the amount of money that you'll be saving in return for this 200 Rand, you probably make up the 200 Rand within the first 1 or 2 purchases from each store.
So when does this next, when do the discounts start playing in? Once we download the app now, it works more like a directory, is that correct?
No. Right now it's going to be updated in the next few days. It's going to be an app that's going to have discounts on it. So we've signed up shops in Durban and we signed up shops in India. Those are our 2 target markets to start off with, and hopefully inshallah we will be expanding to the next few countries by next year.
So are you saying, being worldwide, I could be sitting in the UK and wanting to eat something halal, and I'm able to find spaces on your app where I could go and eat? Is that how it works?
Yes, definitely. You will have an halal tab on the app that you will be able to find. You just type in UK, United Kingdom, and it'll pull out any of all the halal stores, all the shopping places and stuff.
Now, with being worldwide, have you really covered, I mean, how many countries have you covered on that?
We're just a startup. So as I said, we're basically focusing on South Africa, being my own home country, and India, being my motherland, if I can say that. So basically we're focusing on those 2 countries. But I'm very good in India because I have a lot of relationships with good designers and stuff. So we're focusing on those 2 countries for now, and inshallah next year we will.
Well, that's a very smart way of putting something together, because very often when you travel, we tend to, you're there for a limited period of time, and then you want to perhaps go out shopping. And with the app available, it's obviously cuts down the hunt as to where do I need to shop. If there's something specific I'm looking for, the convenience of clicking on a button and it could guide you as to where you can go. So you're also saving a lot of time into trying to figure out yourself where you need to be shopping or eating. Now, when it comes to sleeping, I mean, you spoke about discounts. Would these discounts be applicable to accommodation as well?
So basically, being a startup, we are going to be focusing on boutique hotels and little luxury guest houses and stuff, and hopefully inshallah we will grow into the big hotels.
You mentioned yourself being a mall crawler, so definitely the shopaholic, okay? And the idea came to you that you wanted to put something together for the convenience. But how long did this take you? I mean, the idea came up. Very seldom do you find people that have an idea and then follow through. So how long did it take you from the time you started out with the idea right to the end of finally getting the app up and ready?
I'm someone that jumps head on into everything that I do, which is not a great habit all the time. This app has thrown a lot of challenges my way. So you have to find the right companies to work with, you have to find the right technology guys, IT guys. So it takes some time. It actually took me a few months, like about 6 months to develop it. And it's been out there in the market for about a year.
So are you saying all businesses are open to getting onto the app?
Yes, of course. Any kind of business, whether you're a restaurant, you're a boutique, a store, or even a boutique hotel, you can call us up and join.
Okay. So what advice could you give young female entrepreneurs? You've got a lot happening on your side. What advice can you share with our viewers?
I feel like if you're passionate about something and if you love doing something and you're going to enjoy it, then go ahead and do it. Don't let anyone stop you, because the minute you say, I can't, or maybe that's not a great idea, you're already putting negativity into your mind. And by doing that, you're causing a doubt in yourself. So if you love something, go ahead and do it. I have a very strong support structure, mashallah. My husband, who's my pillar of strength, my children, who are so proud of me when I do anything, my own family, my in-laws family, and this group of women who are helping me with the empowerment program.
So Nafisa, can you touch a little bit more about this empowerment program? What does it entail? What is your vision, and how is this going to help women?
Basically, it's not my vision. It's there's a beautiful lady that I've met who's helped me with this. I'm helping her take this forward. It's basically to help any woman that wants to, even if you want to have a career, even if you want to come out of your slump, even if you want to be a better person, anything, she will help you with it.
And how does she help you?
Well, we put you on a program basically with Kalima and Durood and Tasbees, and it's basically like a clean out, if I can say.
Spiritual detox.
That's the word, spiritual detox. And you have to be on the program to understand what I'm talking about. It's helped so many women. Since I've started, I've directed so many people to her, and so many people thank me because it has helped them so much with their minds, with their spirituality, with themselves as an individual, yourself within your family.
I think just uplifting you as
an individual. It's very uplifting and very motivating.
So with you being out in the social light and being out there with your businesses, you've faced many challenges with hot events. I can't even imagine. So would you think this is how you've managed to stay above board with having this group of women?
Definitely.
So Nafisa, with the empowerment program, are these group sessions or is it one-on-one sessions?
Basically, it's an individual anonymous session.
And how often does an individual have to go for these sessions?
As much as you need it. These ladies are available all the time. Whenever you need their help, they're there to help you. Whether it's on WhatsApp, whether it's a phone call, whether it's an in-house session, anything.
Okay, so it's basically just some time that you take out to speak to another woman, I guess, that can understand where you're coming from. More like a therapy session, yeah. But together with that, she gives you a few things that you could.
Yeah, I'm not the individual in charge of this program.
Okay.
There is another lady that's in charge, and she's the one that helps you. She's the one that helped me get where I am today. So it's not a chargeable session. If it is a charge, it's a very small fee initially, but I think it's more that she wants to get you onto the program. You would take someone who's charging you more seriously, right? So otherwise, there's no charge after that. Yeah.
So how would an individual get in touch with this empowerment program?
I'm going to say for now you can contact me and I'll get you in touch with them. If you're not comfortable with that, I will leave my email address and I'm sure we can put it up later and you can get in touch.
Okay, so how do you intend on continuing with your sessions? I mean, it's done wonders for you. Is it something you can just continue with?
No, it's an ongoing thing. It's like a sisterhood. They're always there to support you. If there's any issue, pick up the phone and say, this is my problem, I need help. She will give you a tasbih to read to get rid of any bad energy. It's readily available and you cannot get off the program. Anyone wants to be on the spiritual path. It's only growing.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Well, that was Nafisa Jusub from Hot Events and founder of the app Shop, Eat, Sleep worldwide. And now she has also partnered up with a group of women to help uplift and empower other businesswomen, or even if you're just that individual that's feeling low and you feel like you need someone that could just pick up your energy levels. Well, please stay tuned and we'll be back for our next segment with our next guest. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome back to Modern and Modest. Alhamdulillah, we have our second guest with us today, a name that you all are probably familiar with, Sweet Sensations. Most of us have found her on social media platforms, and with me today we have Sophia Khan, who creates wow elements, and she comes up with the most creative and delicious treats. Assalamu alaikum, Sophia, and welcome to Modern and Modest with us today.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
Only a pleasure. So Sophia, I've been following you on social media and I was so blown away with your creative mindset. I mean, apart from what I've heard, your cakes being so delicious, they are just so creative. So when did this actually start out for you?
I love baking ever since I was a little girl. I would always be busy in the kitchen with my mom and my sister. we'd always be trying new things and creating new things in the kitchen. And then I get my creativity from my dad. So I took that creativity and I applied it to my baking. And over the years, my passion has become my career.
Okay, so passion has just grown into now a career. So when did you actually find that your hobby or your creativity would be a career for you? When did that dawn on you, and how long ago was this?
Okay, my passion is wedding cakes. So my first cake was baked for my sister's wedding, and my dad and I worked on it together, and it turned out beautiful. And the second wedding cake was done for my wedding. So everyone would say, why not do it as a business? And have a very strong support system. My family is extremely supportive. My husband is extremely supportive and is always pushing me to my limits. And my mom has been a very big inspiration to me. And I get my creativity from my dad. So I took that creativity and I applied it to my baking.
So do you only come up with cakes, or do you venture out into biscuits and desserts? What does Sweet Sensations actually offer?
For me, it's strictly custom-made cakes. Wedding cakes, party cakes. Cakes are becoming more personalized. So you cannot just order a batch of cakes. You would have to order for a wedding or a party.
So would you say that your cakes are specifically for functions? Is that what Sweet Sensations caters for? Now you mentioned wedding cakes being something you're very passionate about. Aren't wedding cakes very challenging though?
Absolutely, but I love the challenge.
Okay, so how many tiers have you gone up to?
So far 4.
And flavors, do wedding cakes come in a particular flavor, or do you have a different variation?
I have a different variation. It depends on the bride, what she's looking for. Vanilla, chocolate, red velvet, and sometimes, very rarely, a bride will ask for a fruit cake, which is a traditional wedding cake. But now things have become more modern, so mostly chocolate, vanilla, or red velvet.
So when your bride or your bridal couple decides to place an order with you, and you have such a vast variation of cakes, do you offer them a cake tasting for them to decide which would be best suited for it?
Yes, definitely. Most brides request a cake tasting, and I provide that for them.
So is that the morning you're busy baking all these variations for your bride?
Or sometimes most of the nights I'm up baking, completing orders or completing requests while everyone is asleep. So it's very challenging and you have to be dedicated.
So what we can rest assured be about Sweet Sensations is that we're getting fresh cakes baked. I mean, given that you're sitting up at night and baking them for us.
All fresh.
Okay, so with so that was your wedding cakes, and I see that you make some beautiful cuppies. What variations do you come out with cupcakes? Now we're speaking about sponge variations, icing.
They're basic vanilla, chocolate, mostly vanilla and chocolate. And then you also get personalized cupcakes. Like for instance, a customer will order a Dora cake and cupcakes to go with that.
Okay. So it's very themed.
Yes, absolutely. Everything is themed.
All right. Now you haven't gone in for any formal training. How do you better yourself at what you do? I mean, obviously things are evolving, even with home industry or little bakeries and so forth. So with you not gone for any formal training and it's just been passion for you, how do you keep up with the latest trends or the latest recipes? Where do you get those from?
In most cases, if someone's interested in pursuing a career in baking, they would have to take up a course or lessons to perfect techniques. But alhamdulillah, in my case, it all comes to me naturally and I'm self-taught with lots of practice.
So from starting out being a little girl, you definitely have years of experience. Yes. And I think as you practice, you just get better at what you do. So have you, apart from you being self-taught, have you ever attended any workshops just to better your technique with what you do?
No, I don't. I actually
don't?
ask.
Okay.
I actually ask to give lessons, which I don't, because I learn with each cake that I make. I'm learning something new, so it's all a learning experience for me as I go along.
So do you just keep to your traditional sponge, and from there you could add, I suppose, change it into a chocolate and a red velvet? Is that how it
No.
works, or do you
No.
have specific recipes for each one?
Yes, there's specific recipes. My traditional vanilla sponge was handed down to me by my mom, and I've been baking that for many years, so I stuck with that. And my chocolate cake, I took a simple chocolate cake recipe, I tweaked it up, and I made it my own.
So we could call it a sweet sensation signature cake, if that's what we could call it. Now, coming back to being a hobby, being self-taught, and having the support structure that's motivated you and encouraged you into taking a career path with your baking. When did you actually decide to brand your baking? When did you decide that, you know what, I'm starting out in a business now and I'm going to give this business a name or a brand? How long has it been since you've given your business a name?
I decided to go into social media, and obviously I needed a name to go with it. So my sister and I were playing around with names, and then we came up with Sweet Sensations.
So being sweet, I know with chocolates, this is going to be a fun question for you, but if you look at, let's use a Lindt chocolate, you'd get the sweet and you'd get the chili. Would you ever see that happening with cakes? Being Sweet Sensation, do you think you'd actually add a bit of spice to your cakes? Do you ever see that happening, or is it?
Anything's possible. So you can make that happen. You can tweak around with recipes and try different things. The sky's the limit, is trying anything.
So have you ever tried maybe a Lindt chili chocolate on a chocolate cupcake?
Thanks for giving me that idea. I might want to try it.
Sophia, with Sweet Sensations being specialist in making cakes and your traditional cakes and all the, I would think your butter icing, and I'm sure you offer quite a range of icings, which we'll chat about now. Have you find your clients requesting you to maybe add more to your offering apart from cakes?
Yes, I do. I get requests for designer barfis, for trays for weddings, where the bride and groom exchange sweetmeat trays. I do designer barfis.
So what makes it so designer?
I have requests for Louis Vuitton handbags, Manchester United t-shirts, All-Star tackies, which were created from barfi.
So that would go with icing the barfi as such?
No, it's actually, I carved the barfi into the shape of a handbag or the tacky or the t-shirt, and it's covered with fondant. Fondant gives it a finish.
So that must really be tricky.
It's exciting. I love it.
So how long does something like that take you from start to end?
I prep in 2 days. I make the cake or the barfi and I allow it to set, carve and set. And the next day I would decorate. It takes me about an hour or two to decorate.
So would you be, do you find that your business seems to be heading more in the direction of weddings and functions, given that people could order the wedding cake and the designer barfis from you? Do you find that that's where your business is heading, or is it more for your parties and so forth?
It's both. Weddings and parties. Wedding cakes are seasonal. So when it's wedding season, then I have wedding cake orders. But throughout the year, it's mostly parties.
So more your novelty cakes?
Yes.
Okay, and apart from the animated characters, is there anything else that you do, or is it just anything that people ask you to do, you could just come up with it?
Anything. I have an order for next week, and the customer request is a hoodie jacket, his own hoodie jacket, personal hoodie jacket, which I have to shape and decorate.
So do you do this freehand, or do you have certain templates that you cut out
No,
from?
it's all freehand.
No, that is interesting. I think you should offer these workshops and classes so we could watch and be inspired by you and see how far we could go.
I learn as I go.
So
Inshallah, in the future, maybe.
So how many years would you say that you've been apart from it being a hobby? How long has it been more business orientated?
Approximately 10 years now.
And your vision from here? Do you one day plan on opening a little coffee shop or maybe a little bakery, or do you like working from home?
My dream is to own my own bakery. I love working in my own space, therefore I do it at home because I have a family to see to. I have a baby who's 5 years old, so it's more flexible for me at home right now. But inshallah, in the future, I would like to own my own bakery.
So Sophia, being in the on the business side of it for 10 years, have you faced any challenges thus far, or what has been the most challenging for you?
The greatest challenge that I face is that there are many people in the same industry, all competing with price being the main factor. But once they get to taste what you actually have to offer, then you build a big clientele base.
So Sophia, with every business there comes challenges. In the past 10 years, have you found your business being a challenge for you, or what's been the biggest challenge for you to overcome?
The greatest challenge I face is that there are many people in the same industry, all competing with price being the main factor. But once they taste what you have to offer, you build a great big clientele base.
So with you, would you think it would be word of mouth where people have tasted your cakes and in that way helped you grow your business? Because how would a client want to choose Sweet Sensations over any other
It first
business?
started with word of mouth, and then I got into social media on Facebook, Instagram. Most people view my work there, and we take it from there.
Okay. All right, so after the ad break, we're going to get Sophia Khan to do a demo and show us how we could create that perfect little cupcake. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. So with us we have Sophia Khan, and Sophia, what do we have here? It all seems very fun and exciting.
Nushina, this is the most fun and exciting part for me, decorating.
And the most time consuming, I would think.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so Sophia, what do we actually have here?
Okay, we're going to start off. I have some cupcakes already prepared for you. I'm going to show you how to decorate each one of them, each design. We're going to start off with the classic 12.
So okay, we can go ahead, and then I just want to know a little bit more about the icing whilst we're chatting. What icing is it? A butter icing?
Yes, it's a buttercream icing. We're going to start off with the classic 12. We will build up in the center.
Okay.
So
that consistency seems just perfect. How do you get it to such a to that type of consistency? I mean, it's not runny, it's not too thick. It seems to just have the perfect flow as you're icing.
For me, I don't really follow a specific recipe. It's all eye and hand coordination. You just gotta go with your gut and add more if you like when it comes to icing sugar. Icing sugar gives the consistency. If you want it runny, you will add less. And if you want it stiff and the right consistency, you will add more icing sugar.
So with your icing, do you prepare it just before you decorate, or do you prepare it way in advance?
Everything is freshly prepared.
And how long could you, if perhaps I wanted to purchase an icing bag, I understand that you are considering selling just the icing bag for mums and kids to have fun at home with. So how long can I keep an icing bag for?
It can be kept in the freezer for a couple of months.
And then just take it out a while before.
Just take it out, defrost overnight, and use.
All right, so colorings, I see you've got your, what is it, chocolate, and would that be cocoa that you would add to the chocolate icing?
Yes, cocoa.
And coloring, now you get a vast range of colorings. You get your gel coloring, your traditional coloring, and then your powdered colorings. Which ones do you opt for?
I prefer gel food color, it's the color shows through better.
Do you find that you got to use less because it's got such a strong
Yes, you
coloring
use
to
less
it?
with gel.
And I'm not sure, do people, does it stain? I mean, being the fact that it's got such a deep coloring to it, do you find that it stains?
No, I haven't experienced staining with gel food color.
All right, I'm interested to look at what's the next design that we go for.
Do you want to try one?
Yeah, sure. I'm not the expert, but I can definitely try. Maybe you can just help me into how we would hold it out.
We'll build up in the center.
Okay.
Right.
And then just twirl around.
Twirl around.
And what about the air bubbles?
It's nicely packed, so I don't think we should have a problem with air bubbles.
Hey.
Wow.
Okay, so if I could do it,
That's
anyone
lovely.
could, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then we're going to take it up a notch. I've prepared some rainbow colors. This is your standard rose twirl.
So you're using different nozzles to get either a wide effect or
Yes.
a smaller
This is
piped effect.
the rose tip. You see, this is the rose pattern.
Okay.
It's piped rose. Start off in the center.
Rainbow cake seems to be
Around.
quite trendy at the
Oh
moment.
yes, with kiddies parties.
kiddies parties, yeah.
And pull away.
Wow, that is pretty. Okay,
It's yours.
thank you. Okay, you make it seem very, very easy, or you're a very good teacher.
Perfect. Pull away.
Okay.
That's lovely. Okay.
What do we have
Now
next?
that was a simple piped rose. Now we're going to take it up and we're going to make it a 3D rose.
Okay. So Sophia, coming back to the rainbow icing, how did you get a rainbow icing? Is it colors that you just fill the bag with, or what do you actually do?
Yes, you start filling the bag with the, like I took an empty piping bag and I took the green and you would squirt it in on one side, and then you would take the pink and you turn it over and you would squirt it in from the opening going in. So you just build on your colors like that.
Okay, so you have to use an icing bag to,
I find it easier to use
instead
an
of having
icing bag.
to
Yes,
put it
use a
on.
spoon will be messy. So I take an individual piping bag and I just pipe inside.
Okay, colors, can you change them around? What colors
Yes,
work well?
definitely. The sky is the limit. You can do whatever comes to mind, whatever colors that suits you.
So you,
Now I'm going to show you how to make a 3D rose. Is that right?
that seems very challenging.
It is, but you have to have hand and eye coordination. Okay, first we're going to build on the bud. That's the bud. I'm going to start with the petals. You will see that is more of a teardrop shape, and you have the pointed edge on top. Okay.
So it's very short
Petals.
petals,
As we're going out, it will become
bigger.
bigger.
Do you have any help with this, or do you do all this yourself?
I do all by myself. I love working alone. Only cleanup time, then I ask for help. Press and pull. Press and pull.
So Sophia, with how many different types of nozzles do you actually work with? Are they all more floral inspired nozzles? What works for you?
I use the basic nozzle, which is the star tip. For my leaves, this is what I use for the leaves. And I love, my all-time favorite is the rose.
Which is the most popular amongst the nozzles?
The rose.
The rose.
You can do lots of things with the rose. You can even add flowers to them, sugar flowers.
So those flowers, do you make them or do you get them ready?
They're all handmade.
So you make the roses
I make the
as
roses
well.
myself.
So what type of what are the roses made with? Are they it's icing or how do you make those?
Those are sugar roses. They're made with fondant.
Okay, so Sophia, these roses, do you make the roses or do you purchase the roses?
No, everything that I do is handmade. I create them from scratch. This is a basic fondant rose.
And how long does it take? How long does the whole process take in creating these pieces?
I set a day for all my decorations. It takes me approximately 2 hours to complete all the little flowers and all the little details. I prep them in advance, so when the cake is set up, I just place.
So can you make them in all different shapes, sizes, depending on what order you
Yes,
get
definitely.
through?
With wedding cakes, I would go with bigger roses, and simple cupcakes like this, I would go with small roses.
And is there a specific drying time for this? How long does it take to set? Do you refrigerate it to set?
No, it doesn't take refrigeration. I leave them out on room temperature and they dry out.
Okay. So Sophia, that was very impressive. And what tips can you give our viewers just with regards to being creative at home, or if they decide that they one day want to take this to a level of being a business like yourself?
Nushina, cakes are becoming a very important part of every event. Cakes are a centerpiece to every occasion, every celebration. And I would say a party without a cake is just a meeting.
So that was indeed fun with Sophia Khan. I'm going to grab 2 of these cupcakes. A balanced diet is having a cake in each hand, and I'm really impressed at what I've just done here, and I wouldn't have been able to without Sophia Khan. So thank you, Sophia, for coming on Modern and Modest and sharing your creativity with our viewers.